build Mars together, but competitively. Terraform it to have enough oxygen, water, and temperature to make it habitable in Terraforming Mars.
And today we're diving into a quick start tutorial for Terraforming Mars. We'll explain everything you need to know if you want to get started quickly and pick up the details and icons as you go along, in 15 minutes or less.
And hello everyone, it's Stella.
And Tarrant, and welcome to Meeple University.
And hey, if you enjoy this video after watching, you will really help us by like, subscribe, and let us know what you think in the comments. That seriously will help us to make more videos. Alright, now let's get to the classroom.
In Terraforming Mars, each player is a corporation in the early era of Martian settlement, trying to make the greatest contribution to establishing the planet's habitability. To begin the game, Mars is desolate, empty, freezing cold, no oxygen and no water. Primarily through acquiring and building the projects on cards, players will build up their corporate capabilities, collectively take the actions which will increase those three global parameters of temperature, oxygen and oceans, as well as build cities, grow forests, and produce the other kinds of point-scoring products and industries necessary for life on Mars. There are two ways to score: terraforming rating, which are points gained during the game, and victory points added at the end. And once Mars has reached the threshold of livability, it's whoever has the most points of both types who'll win the game. In this video, we'll focus on the corporate era mode, which is the full game playable from the base release. To set up, take a player board and player cubes. Your board tracks 6 resource pools: mega credits, steel, titanium, plants, energy and heat. Metallic cubes track the resources you own, and player cubes track how much you produce at the end of each round. Draw 2 corporations and 10 project cards. Then keep 1 corporation, gaining the resources and the productions printed on the card, and then keep any number of your 10 projects at a cost of 3 credits each. You're now ready to play. The game plays in rounds called generations. There are 4 phases: turn order, research, action, and production. You'll skip the first 2 in generation 1. The first player was chosen before you chose your cards, and choosing those starting cards counts as your research phase in that first generation. You instead begin with actions. In the action phase, players take turns clockwise from the first player. On a turn, you take either 1 or 2 actions from among all of those available. If you take 0 actions, then you must pass, and you take no further turns this generation. Take turns round and round the table until all players have passed. The most common action is to play a card from hand, so let's have a look at some cards. A card has a cost in credits which must be paid to play it, and that's shown in its top left corner. Any other prerequisites to play the card are shown in a box. For example, you can't play this card unless the temperature is at least -6 degrees. The bottom of the card below its picture shows its immediate effect upon being played. Any square icons are resources that you gain. Square icons on a brown field are production, and that will increase your end of round production for that resource. Any hex icon is a tile which you take from the supply and add to the map, according to placement rules I'll explain later. Most effects are positive, but some are negative, and you must be able to resolve all effects on a card to legally be able to play it. All card effects are also explained in text, and if you see an asterisk, then you must read the text because there'll be some special rules associated with this card. The bottom right shows the card's endgame victory points, if any. The top right of each card shows its tags, circular icons which have no immediate effect but which can combo with other game effects. For example, playing this card is more valuable the more previous microbe tags you've played. Of particular note are building and space tags. Because steel can be spent as 2 credits when paying for a building tag, and titanium as 3 credits when paying for a space tag. After resolving, if the card was red, it was an event, not permanent infrastructure, and you flip it over so its tags no longer count. If the card was green, simply keep it in a column. Its effect was immediate, and all that matters from now on is the tags you've collected. If the card was blue, immediately resolve the bottom half, if any, and then keep the card so you can still see its top half. This will either have an ongoing passive effect, or it will come with an action, which you may resolve as an action on your turn once per generation per card. Be clear, because there are many similar icons with different shapes. Circular icons are always tags, square icons are resources, square icons in the brown field are production, and hexes are map tiles. Some blue cards will show a resource which is not among the standard 6 resources. When gained, collect them on that card and they'll interact with that card in some way. An icon with a red border can belong to any player, one without must belong to you. There are 3 general map tiles: cities, greeneries, and oceans. There are also special tiles, each of which corresponds to a specific project card. When you place a tile of any type, gain the resources you cover. Gain 2 credits for each ocean tile adjacent to the new tile, and except in the case of oceans, mark your ownership of the new tile. Other specific rules are that 2 cities may never be placed adjacent. A new greenery must always be placed adjacent to at least 1 tile that you already own, if possible. Ocean tiles may only be placed on these shaded spaces specifically for oceans, and no other tile type may be placed on a space reserved for oceans. At the end of the game, each greenery scores 1 point for its owner, and each city scores 1 point for its owner per adjacent greenery of any player. A key aim is to raise the global parameters: temperature, oxygen, and oceans. You gain them with these icons. And note that placing a greenery tile also automatically increases oxygen, as shown here. If you gain temperature or oxygen, raise the shared gauge and gain the benefit of the new space. And if you gain an ocean, place it per the normal rules. In all 3 cases, raise your terraforming rating 1 step. If a track is at maximum, no further such benefit can be gained. You can get global parameters from cards, but will more commonly get them from standard projects, or from these 2 player board actions. Specifically, you can raise temperature by spending 8 heat, or 14 credits. You can place an ocean for 18 credits, and you can gain greenery, and therefore oxygen, for 23 credits, or 8 plants. Other standard projects let you buy energy production, build cities, or sell unplayed cards for credits. The last actions are milestones and awards. Milestones are objectives to race for. If you meet the condition of an unclaimed milestone, pay 8 credits to claim it for 5 points. Awards are long-term competitive objectives. As an action, pay the next price to fund an award, making its 5 and 2 point prizes available to whoever best and second best meets the objective on that award. Second place does not score in the 2-player game. Only 3 awards and 3 milestones may be used each game. Take turns round and round the table until all players have passed, and then move to production. Players convert unspent energy to heat and then gain production in all 6 resources. For credits, this means your terraforming rating plus your extra production. In all other cases, it's just the production track. Pass first player 1 step clockwise, then research. Draw and look at 4 new project cards, and then, as in setup, add any number of those to your hand for 3 credits each. It's also common to play this phase by drafting. Here you draw the 4 cards, Keep one separate to your hand and pass the rest, left or right, depending on the round. Keep going until you have 4 cards. Then add any number of those to your hand, again for 3 credits each. Now again proceed to the action phase. The game end triggers when oxygen and temperature reach max and all 9 oceans are placed. Finish the current generation including production. And players get one final chance to convert leftover plants into greeneries. Now add up final scores. To your terraforming rating, add all points on cards, points for city and greenery placements, and points for milestones and awards. The player with the highest score wins, and if tied, leftover credits breaks the tie. For a simpler and quicker game, you can also choose to play the basic mode. Remove all cards showing this icon, and start with one of each production. You can also use the basic symmetrical corporation. With cards contributing more directly to terraforming and less to your economies, this will be a faster and simpler game than the corporate era mode.
Thanks for watching, and if you like this video, maybe you'd like to watch this next one. Have a great day, bye!